Turn left onto State.
So I don't normally film myself on videos, but I thought it would be a good idea to show you guys, and I'm huffing and puffing right now, show you how it really is on the trail today. And I just climbed a large hill, so I'm definitely out of breath. But I thought I'd show you guys what a day in the life is like, because today's kind of a special day. I'm going to be hitting my personal halfway mark. Yay. So I will be probably doing a lot more video today than normal and try and piece it all together for you. So I'll show you the trail. So this is looking down back kind of where I started from. This is looking southbound on the trail. And I post a lot of pictures of these rectangles on the trees. And if you've never seen that before, don't know what that is, they're called blaze marks, and they will help you stay on the trail. So they're always right next to the trail, kind of marking your way. And we also have an app that we use that shows like our location on the map. It will give us like waypoints, like how far it is to the next water source or the next shelter or the road crossing or whatever we want to look up. It'll tell us like the mileage and the elevation gain and loss. And I'll put a snapshot of that in the video as well. Now normally after a climb up, you are treated to some kind of view. Not always, but a lot of the times you're treated to a view. And this one's pretty nice. Nice field and mountain view. We'll keep going. And this doesn't happen too often either, where there's actually a bench on trail. And it's kind of doing this overlook, although it's kind of an overgrown overlook, but still a nice spot. I think I'm going to sit down for just a minute. It always amazes me too, you can go from silence and just hearing animals to hearing a busy highway. We're starting to go downhill, which is much easier on my lungs, but this is where most people have a hard time because your knees really get a workout going downhill. Gotta watch where I'm walking at all times because there's so many rocks and roots here. But yeah, I had to shed my top layer. It was getting quite warm going uphill, but now we're starting to head downhill. So the only time I'll probably put that back on is when I stop for lunch, because that's when you start getting chilly again. But it's supposed to warm up today, so it should be pretty nice later on today. It's hard to show the steepness of this on camera, but it's quite a hike up there, and then it just kind of drops off and gives a great view over there. This is always the fun part. So after rocky areas, it's sometimes hard to find where the trail connects back up, and I think it's up that way. It could be that way, but I don't see any blazes. Normally you can see a blaze, but we're gonna go up here and see. Yeah, this looks more established, so we'll see. There's cool rocks up there. Still haven't seen a blaze. But it's cool. Okay, my map showed that I wasn't on trail, so I'm going to backtrack here where I just came back up and see if it is down the other way. Alright, so stupid me wasn't paying attention to the blaze marks. There are 2 double blaze marks on that tree, which kind of tells you that the direction is changing. And anytime you see those, it's kind of a good clue to watch the trail closely. So I kind of went up that way, and I was thinking, well, maybe I gotta go down that way. But the trail actually kind of does a U-turn here and goes out that way. So now we're good. Gosh, look at that view. There's a beautiful house up there. Let's see if I can zoom in. Wow. There's another double blaze up here. So I think this is a switchback. And we're gonna start going zigzag down the hill here. And yep, this is a switchback, so we were just up there and kind of came down here. And then now we're going down that way, and we're going to just kind of zigzag down the mountain. Hard to get a good look at him, but it's a little turkey running back there. So we just came from up there, we switched back all the way down. And there's a nice little campsite right there. But we're gonna keep heading on. So it's nice when they have bridges for us to cross. This would be a really good water source to cut down on carrying a lot of water, which gets heavy. We have filters that filter out like impurities out of the water, so you can drink fresh spring water. And now we're coming up to the road crossings, and road crossings are usually never fun because you have to usually cross a busy road. This one doesn't look too terribly bad, but I know from my drive-in this morning it was about 55 miles an hour with the speed limit. So it can get kind of dangerous, but I'm looking across and I see on the back of the stop sign a blaze mark telling me to go that way. And I think I see even one underneath the bridge there too, so I'm supposed to go that way on the road. And it's so weird sometimes to look back and see where you've come. Just over an hour ago, I was on the other side of that mountain, starting off for the day. And now I'm on the other side over here, climbing another mountain, looking back at it. So a lot of times I get asked if I'm ever afraid to hike by myself. And on the AT, no, because there's always people around. So that was a group that just passed me of about 15 people. And I've passed so many day hikers and section hikers today. No through hikers yet, but I have a feeling I'll see some at some point. And I am arriving to a shelter. So there's another junction with another trail here. The shelter's down here, and the AT is also down here. So once I get to the shelter, I'll video that. Alright, this is the little side trail down to the shelter. They're usually not right on the trail, but this one's just maybe 100 yards or so off the trail. There was someone at the junction for the trail with like a huge like camping tent. Gosh, I don't know how they got it all up here, all their stuff. But here's some bear poles to hang your food at night. Someone left a fire going. Hopefully there's someone still here. But this is the shelter. Okay, so I'm at the shelter. It's right behind me. That one's pretty bare bones there. And the fire is still going. So if no one comes back by the time I'm done with my lunch, I will put this out because this is what causes fires. So there's the privy. I just went downhill a small bit to get to the stream to get some water to start putting out the fire. But now I'm going to go back to the privy here. So it looks like they got an old one maybe here and then a new one. Pit toilet, and then you put some wood shavings in after you go. I'm a mess. I'm a sweaty mess. I've made it. It's officially, I'm sitting officially at my halfway point. So 1100, no. How far is it? I don't remember. I've made it. I've officially made it to my halfway point. 1,098 point something or other miles hiked so far on the AT. The total trail's, I think, 2197.4. So I'm halfway there. Woo! And I started getting a little emotional. I brought Fielder's harness and some of her ashes with me. She was there at the beginning with me and at Emma. And I have so many good memories of her in Georgia with me. So I wanted her to be here for my halfway point. So on the AT, there's such a great community. And I was just hiking. I was actually on top of a mountain. And there was a guy sitting there. And started talking to him for a minute. And, you know, I told him I was out doing a section hike this weekend. And he offered me a big candy bar. So there's people that will help out hikers. We call them trail angels. And usually it's like, you know, providing some food at trailheads or just an unexpected little surprise like that, which was really nice. So it was really nice. His name was Steve. He's a retired Homeland Security guy. So it was kind of interesting talking to him for a little bit. And prior to that, I had been really struggling, like tired. I was climbing uphill, thinking how I should have exercised more this winter because this trail's been kicking my butt today because I'm so out of shape from the winter. And I was just really kind of going slow, and then after talking with that guy just for a couple minutes, it just really, and getting that chocolate, it just really kind of perked me up. So thanks, Steve. Not sure what these things are, but it's really cool to see just a big patch of them growing here. That was an interesting creek crossing, and now I'm just climbing over boulders until I get over there. I see a blaze over that way, so I'm just trying to get across all these boulders. Here's the second shelter that I'm passing for the day. I'm not going to stop at this one because this one is 0.3 off the trail, so I'm not doing an extra 0.6 of a mile today after all the other miles I've been hiking, because I'm already tired and ready to be done. I've got about just over 4.5 left for the day. .9 left. It's been a long day after traveling all night and not being in the best of shape after winter. I will be ready to relax tonight. This is just a beautiful way to end the day. Less than 2 miles left, but it's kind of been like this. I think this is part of a state park. Not sure if we're still in the boundary of the state park, but I believe we are. It's like the trail was reading my mind. They always say the trail provides, and I was just thinking that I would love a bench to sit down on for a few minutes while I finish up the last mile and a half or so. Wow. Now I'm almost back to my car, and I've got to do the part that I've been kind of dreading all day, and it's crossing this busy road here. There's a lot of traffic on it, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, yeah. Cheers.